Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Open eCry market commentary for the week of April 8th. My name is Toby Gennaro from Trade with Precision, and just coming to you this week with the outlook for the markets. And taking a look at the big cap stocks here on the ES futures contract, and as we normally do, just looking at the charts from the top down, looking at the monthly chart here. Not a whole lot new here. Just got the start of a new month here in April, and it just broke above obviously that 530 level, and then topped out right around like 1560, 1564. And so moving down to some of the other time frames, looking at the weekly chart, we're getting a little bit of pullback on the weekly chart back into that 10 period moving average, right around that buy zone, but not a very healthy pullback. As we look at the daily chart, we get a much deeper pullback, right back almost to the 20 period moving average, right within that buy zone again. We've got a bullish candle set up there on Friday, April 5th. And then we're looking at the 480 chart where we actually have the moving averages rolled over, and we actually have a pullback all the way back down into this, almost as close into that 1530 level as we saw before, but still broke below this most recent low of right around 1534. We can get a more exact number there. It was actually 1535. So we had a little break below that, which means we actually put in we had a higher high right here and actually put in a lower high and then put in a lower low. So this moved right back up to this level at 1545. As you can see, there are a number of touch points along that level right there, which is a pretty strong level historically. And so we're right back at that level, and we basically have just a 62% retracement of this move from here to here, the most recent high to the most recent low. And so really not a very good trading opportunity right here, simply because if the market's looking to roll back over, this is the point where it would do that, and it would go in and then put in a new lower low. If the market's going to push higher here, I'd really be wanting to wait to see if the market's going to prove itself. Even though we have a bullish candle here in the buy zone on the daily chart, if we get a break up through that level, the high of that candle is going to be 1557. We could probably look to start getting long at that level, but I want to remember right here that we have some couple of divergence bumps in here on both the MACD and the RSI, and we have several higher highs in place here, but we don't have higher highs on the indicators, which is telling me that the trend is weakening to some extent, and we could get essentially a little deeper pullback than we might anticipate, maybe even something back beyond this this 1530 level. So in looking at that, I'd be looking to be cautious here in the coming week and looking to make the market prove itself beyond that high of right around 1557. If we can actually get a new high into place, then we might be going back up to at least the most recent high up around 1567, I believe it was. Just double check that real quick. Yeah, 1567, and then potentially then putting in possibly a new high. If we continue to put in divergence on the daily chart, that'll just be another indicator for me to look to be cautious on the markets continuing higher, and then potentially look for some larger pullbacks. Not that I'll be getting involved in the markets short. I'm looking to trade with this trend, with this long, but just looking for a deeper pullback and then finding the appropriate level where we can get the right setup candles. Right now we have a pullback into the buy zone on the daily chart. We could be getting a deeper pullback into the buy zone on the weekly chart, so it just really depends. So we'll have to take a look and see where that goes, but we have the current levels in place. 62% retracement. If we roll over from here, more than likely we're going to put in a new low, and then we'll have to take a look at where the markets go from there. And moving down to the small cap stocks on the Russell contract, looking at the monthly chart, again, just starting a new candle here just a couple days into the month, so it's really not going to tell us a whole lot right now, but we still have that level in here right around 860, and so this could be an opportunity here for a pullback into that level if the market really starts to sell off right here. And moving over to the weekly chart, we can see that we just got this pullback right back into the 10 period moving average. Don't yet have a bullish candle there in the setup zone on the weekly chart. And then we have the daily chart, basically the 10 and 20 period out of order essentially, and then rolled over to the downside. We do have a fairly bullish rejection candle right there at this level of 911, which, as you can tell, has been some pretty solid support there for quite some time historically. And so we could get a bounce from right back here. We did get a break above the high of this candle right here. And so we could be moving short term back up into this 933 level. And as we can see here on the 480 chart, that 933 level is pretty solid resistance level and support level. So if we're going to move back up into that level, I'd probably expect to see some sell orders accumulating right around that level. And it looks more than likely that the market may turn lower and then potentially put in a new low. So just in looking at that, again, we have that divergence set up on the daily chart. And we had some divergence setting up there on basically on this flat level right here on the 480 chart. So we do have lower highs, lower lows. So we do have basically a trend reversal in place on the 480 chart. We have the 50, the 20, and the 10 rolled over and moving to the downside as well. So a move back up into this 933 level. If we end up getting a rejection candle set up there, then it looks like if we can take the break at the low of that candle, it looks like we might be moving down to a new low. So I'd be pretty cautious here on the Russell contract as well. Looking at the small cap stocks, it looks like the market maybe could possibly be giving up some more ground here in the coming week. So even though we're at a decent support level here, right around 911, I'd really look to see the market potentially breaking down to a new low after it potentially makes us move up to 933. And so that's really what the big caps and the small cap stocks look like in terms of the indices. And so we're really just maintaining a cautious view this week and looking for the markets to really prove themselves before we decide to get long again, because it looks like kind of anticipating just a little deeper pullback from what the charts are looking like here. And then taking a look at one foreign currency pairing here on the dollar Swiss. As you can see, monthly trend been down. Looking at the weekly chart, been kind of moving averages kind of bunched up here in a range. Nothing's really trending, but it looks like if we get a break lower, we're going to have all of these bunched up moving averages then start to fan out to the downside with the 200, the 50, the 20, and the 10 moving lower. So I don't expect a major trend to the downside here, but in looking at the daily chart, we've got a move down off of this basically little reversal pattern here with some strong divergence on the daily chart, and then really got a breakdown through the really through the neckline and then through that support level there right around 93.8. So what I'd be looking for is really kind of a rally. We've got a little overextension here on the daily chart. I'd be looking for a rally back up in this level of around 93.8, 93.9. And as we move down to some of the other time frames, you can see that that level a little better, right in there, right around 93.8, 93.9. If we get a rally back up there, it'll put us right back in the sell zone on a couple of the higher time frames like the 280 or the 240 and the 480, and then even a little deeper back into the sell zone on the 120-minute chart, and then again following that trend flow setup like we're teaching in the advanced course, and then looking for that setup candle in the sell zone, and then looking for another move lower, at least down to this level down around 93.1. So decent little setup there on the dollar Swiss, and taking advantage of that trend flow setup and just waiting for that rally. And as you can see, we've got the lower highs, the lower lows in place, and a number of the moving averages rolled over to the downside as well on a number of charts. So looking pretty ripe there for a potential short if we can just get that trend flow set up on some of these charts here on the 480 and lower. So that'll wrap up the market outlook for the week. We'd like to thank you all for watching the OpenECRI market commentary for the week of April 8th, and we do look forward to speaking to you next week on the market update.